What's up, guys? I'm Tim Bowman, leader of the Tim Bowman team here in Cincinnati, Ohio, real estate agent with Key Realty. And I wanted to talk to you guys about step one of the home buying process. There's 8 steps. We're just going to deep dive into step one here. We're talking, a few minutes just to give you some good information that you can utilize. And step one is, if you just watched the video, pick a realtor. So let's do a little bit of background here on real estate agents. Back a long time ago, there weren't 2 different kinds of real estate agents like there are today. There was just a real estate agent who, someone wanted to sell a home, they would call a real estate agent, that person would be tasked with the job to go out and find a buyer to buy that home, match those people up, and then of course they've got a deal, they'd close the deal, and they'd get paid. Somewhere through the years, when technology started picking up, there became this idea of this buyer's agent, and that's what we're talking about today, this buyer's agent, where they strictly represent you as the buyer. I think it's great because now you have somebody working directly for you that has your best interest in heart, and they can represent you, a fiduciary duty that they will have, which in English means they legally have to represent you to your best interest, not their own, not anyone else's. They're obligated because you're their client to do what's in your best interest. So you have somebody in your corner. Now, can you go out and buy a house without using a buyer's agent or an agent at all? Absolutely you can. Can you go into a courtroom and represent yourself without using an attorney? Absolutely you can. Is it smart in either way, in either situation, to not have representation? Absolutely it's not. So with that being said, I would highly recommend that you do some research, pick a buyer's agent, because here's the kicker, you don't even pay them. They still get paid by the person selling the home. So the sellers have hired a real estate agent and agreed to pay that real estate agent a commission, and that commission is going to be split between the realtor who's helping sell the house and your realtor who's helping you buy a home. So whatever that commission split looks like is determined between those 2 real estate agents. Typically it's standard to do 50 and 50. 50%, 50%. You do occasionally see a little variance, but that's not even what we're here to talk about. Let's just talk about how you don't have to pay for your buyer's agent, which is awesome in your part. You got representation and experience on your side for free. Now, a little caveat to that is, as a buyer's agent, they don't get paid unless you actually buy a home. So if you have them out running around showing you all kinds of homes and things, and they're willing to work really hard for you, and you opt to buy a home with the selling real estate agent or another real estate agent or someone else, that's a tough area. I mean, I would just say that's morally wrong, and that's just my opinion. Not legally wrong per se. There are contracts. If you've signed a contract, you're obligated to work with that person. But I just say be mindful that they're spending their time, effort, and their talent away from their family, and they don't even make money to provide for their family unless you buy a home with them. So if you're going to use someone, I would say stick with that decision. And if you change your mind, let them know. Be transparent with them. Because it's just good business, right? So let's jump into how to pick a real estate agent. The real estate agent, I would say, just ask referrals. Ask your family and your friends who they've used. If they've ever bought a home before, who did they use? Did they like them? Why did they like them? What are some things they would have done differently? Help you prevent from making those same mistakes. So get some referrals. That's a great place to start. Another caveat, side note, don't just pick your family member to be your realtor because they're your family member or you feel obligated to. I would, no matter what, interview a couple different real estate agents just to see who you mesh well with. Maybe you've had some experiences where you go with a family member because you're related and you don't want to have that hard conversation, and then because you're related, they're more willing to just put you a little bit on the back burner, and you feel like not as important to them, like your money isn't as green to them or doesn't spend just as easily as someone else's money because you're related to them. You're supposed to be expected to be more forgiving. Be cautious of that. Many people have fallen into that trap. So don't pick them just because they're your family member. But again, ask for referrals. Interview a couple different people. You're really looking to interview real estate agents based upon the person that they are and how well that you mesh together, because you're going to be working together a lot. So we're shopping based upon the person, not necessarily the experience. And again, we'll get into experience in just a second, but you're going to be working with this person a lot. So you're going to want to make sure that you guys mesh well, you get along, and that you feel like there's somebody you can trust. That's the key, that they truly are putting your best interest first. Now, let's get into experience. An experienced buyer's agent, or a realtor representing the buyer is very valuable. With that keep in mind, somebody who's running around bragging about how many years they've been in the business doesn't necessarily mean they're better than someone else who, maybe someone who's been in the business 30 years isn't necessarily better than somebody who's only been in for 4 years. And the reason I say that is the 30-year person may have been more experienced, but this business is changing all the time. So with Zillow and apps and social media and different ways to market, that person who has 30 years experience, let's be honest, people don't necessarily naturally love change, right? So where they started out using pen and paper and driving to your home to get you to sign a contract, nowadays there are online things out there like DocuSign and Dotloop that you can have that sent to your email and have it back to your agent faster than the person can sometimes even have a phone call with you. So there are apps out there like Google Street View. You're familiar with that? Well, Zillow has 3D home tours. The Matterport. There's things out there technology-wise that can do a much better job in this market than someone who may not be as familiar with it. So don't think just because this person's been around longer means that they're automatically better than this person who hasn't. And that's something I would say, shop based upon the person. Don't shop your realtor based upon their experience. Another thing I'll jump into here is how accessible are they? With that, things are moving fast. It's 2022 now. Things are still moving fast. The market's still fire. In Cincinnati, at least, we were the #1 market in the country for a very long time last year. And if your realtor is a part-time realtor or a full-time realtor, that could be a big difference. If you and your real estate agent are working a 9 to 5 and they can't even respond to you to show you a house within 24 hours or until after 5 p.m., a lot of times that house is already pending and under contract. So shop based upon their availability. Maybe you have the 9 to 5, but you want them working during the hours of 9 to 5 to find you a house. So, keep that in mind as you're shopping for your real estate agent. But again, this is supposed to be fun, so pick the person based upon who they are, so you trust them, they're accessible, they can help you find the right house. Good negotiating skills, right? So you want them to be able to negotiate on your behalf, and that's their job, to help you find a house, get your offer accepted, negotiate the offer on your behalf, get you the best deal they possibly can, while the other team is supposed to be getting the sellers the most money they can. You want to make sure you get a good deal. And just no matter what, at the end of this, whoever you pick, whoever it is that you go with, just stick with that person, commit to that person, be loyal to that person, and if things need to change, have a tough conversation with that person and let them know, hey, I'm going to go a different route. And you can use some things such as, this just isn't working out for me, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to go a different direction, and have that hard conversation, because using 2 realtors at the same time to buy, that, like we already talked about, that can be tough. So anyways, have a good experience. Let me say it like this. I hope you have a good experience picking your realtor. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just go with someone that feels good. And at the end of the day, just go with your gut. Go with your gut on this one, right? If you need anything, reach out to us. We appreciate you, and have a great shopping experience. See you on the next video.